Dan, we will go ahead and kick you out over
I'm gonna go get Chipotle
off of the air. And we are going to have Dave from the Super Movie Brothers and John from Now in Technicolor join us. Whenever you gentlemen are ready, you can go ahead and jump into the On the Air channel. Dan, we'll see you later, buddy.
See you, Dan.
Chipotle.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm stepping out for one moment here.
That worked out perfectly. I kicked Dan out of it just as he was saying Chipotle.
I just thought he did the live fade out of his voice away from the mic.
No, that was just how it worked out when I dragged him over into the Off the Air channel. That worked out so perfectly.
That was good.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to be starting Best Comedic Moments in Film. And then after that, at 1:45, we've got Movie Soundtrack Trivia. Now, so far, we have Chris from MGT, the More Go to the End podcast, and Fuzzy D. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning in Melbourne. John from Now in Technicolor, just click on the Air, and it'll automatically move you to the On the Air channel. And you should be good to go. And let's see here. And then, Fuzzy D will also be joining us.
I think I got it.
There
I
he
get
is.
it, John.
And
Hey.
Dave was in off
everybody.
the air, so I'm going to move Dave into on the air.
I just had to click up. It took me a second.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the live stream for The Cure.
Yay, yeah.
We absolutely
there's
love having you here.
Dave's drinking beer, and he managed to put a picture in the chat.
Dave, you're beautiful. What is that? Death
Oh,
Breath
shit, I gotta quit the
Imperial
live stream.
IPA. That's amazing.
Say something, Dave.
There we go. Woo, that was getting rough.
I see his indicator is lighting up, but I don't see it
Yeah.
where he's
Are you
getting.
guys able to hear me?
There he goes.
Yeah,
we
there
got
he
you.
is.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm
we've
gonna have
got.
to do this. I'm gonna have to do this on the phone, like like this is 1999 or something.
I don't have the Prince song on the thing. I'm sorry. I do have this, so I'll play this. Yeah, that's as good as I got. All right, so you guys are here. Justin stepped away for just a moment here, but you guys are here to talk best comedic moments in film. Now, the way I envisioned this segment, countdowns suck and nobody likes to do them, so I didn't want to have to deal with any of that nonsense.
No one.
This is just going to be more of a free-form discussion. Like, we'll go kind of around the horn and we'll let somebody throw out one of their best comedic moments in film, and then, we'll just discuss it, then we'll move on. And however many we get to by the end of the 45 minutes is however many we get to. So because Paul's been on with us, so we're going to shut him up, keep him off in the corner for now. Woo! Keep him quiet. But Dave and Jay, first of all, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us for the live stream for The Cure. John, I'm going to start with you, man. Best comedic moments in film. What do you got for us?
Hello? All right. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm just going to start off with one that I find absolutely hilarious because I was thinking about it kind of coming into this. And I was like, man, what's the good moment? And the one I actually settled on for the first one we'll talk about is the one where in Anchorman where they're having that giant battle. And then Brick comes up and it's like, Brick, where did you get a grenade? Ah! Man, what happened? Brick just killed a guy. So, I mean, I fucking love that scene. It's fucking great. I mean, Steve Carell is just fucking hilarious. Everyone in that movie was hilarious. And that's just one of the top scenes in the movie to me when everybody comes out for that battle. I
put a picture of Dave's Imperial IPA on the live stream, and it turned it sideways for whatever reason. But there it is, Death Breath Imperial IPA. I'm not drinking anything until... I actually think I will drink at about 5 o'clock because David and Juliet will be on the air. So I have to have a glass of bourbon with them when they're on. But What Are You Drinking is actually going to start at about 7 o'clock. But back to John's best comedic. Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. The Anchorman just giant battle scene, and then the cavalcade of stars, like the cameos that just keep coming in with each team.
Yep.
As they keep coming.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, it's hilarious.
It is fantastic. It's definitely like one of the, like I said, is the most standout scene in the entire movie. And there's like a million great scenes in that movie, but that is really, I think, just my number one scene when it comes to that comedic moment because like you said, all those cameos that come in, it's fucking hilarious. I don't think I stopped laughing the entire time. I can watch that scene today and I still die laughing.
I'm laughing just thinking about it, and also looking at this GIF of Homer Simpson spinning around on the I'm so easily distracted. Dave,
What did I miss, guys? What did I miss? Who's here?
Nobody's here. You get out of here.
No one. Everyone left.
We have John from the Now in Technicolor podcast and Dave from the Super Movie Brothers live on the air with us. Two fantastic Movie Pod Squad Network shows and very, very good friends of ours. God, I love you guys. It's so good to have all of you network guys lining up and joining so many of these guest spots on the live stream. I really, really appreciate all of the support that you guys have given us as we've tried to get this event put together, and dealing with me freaking out and stressing out about it over in the Twitter chats time and time again.
No,
You've been
it's all
freaking
good,
out,
brother.
stressing out? What do you mean?
No one noticed that.
What? Wait, where is it? No, I get it. Yep.
I had
love
your
how
back,
love how
Nick, and you
instinct
just blew
is
it.
to still, your instinct is to still make the mouth noises before going to the soundboard.
That is very, very true.
Of course.
I've got the problem is I've got like all the movie quotes and all the movie soundtrack stuff all loaded into the soundboard. So there's just so much stuff on here now. It takes me forever to find stuff. It's just too much going on with that. But yeah, we'll kick it over to Dave now. We just talked about the Anchorman, the giant battle royale scene. Where'd Brick Crit a grenade? Oh my God, that's so funny. I want to watch that now. But we'll kick it over to Dave just to get started. Best comedic moments in film. What do you think of when you think comedy in film?
I mean, for me, it doesn't come down to one movie. It comes down to one guy that just like cracks me up. It's almost like he gets me, and it's Bill Murray. Everything Bill Murray does comedically, like, just absolutely kills me. But I can really just think of, all of his lines from Ghostbusters. It's true. This man has no dick. Like, everything he does is absolutely hilarious. And me and Jay on our show this week, it should be coming out later on tonight. We talk about The Life Aquatic, and that is like one of my favorite comedic performances from him, because he does deadpan so well throughout that, and it's so egotistical. And I even said, like, I feel like that is the most true to who Bill Murray really is in real life, is his performance in The Life Aquatic. The guy just cracks me up, throughout film, and especially in Caddyshack. I mean, it all
One of my
comes
favorites,
down to
for
like
sure.
that one line when he's talking about being the caddy for the Dalai Lama. And he tells him that, on your deathbed you will have full consciousness. So I have that going for me.
And thank you very, very much, John from Now in Technicolor, for your donation. Thank you very, very much.
Welcome, bud. Just took me a second to get to it.
Oh, no, I hope everybody enjoys my my Here Comes the Movie live stream. I'm like, what can I
love
make
that.
it be?
We should hear that more.
I wanted to get a
We'll hear
little
that
gif
more.
of Shane O'Mac dancing for the live stream as well, but I couldn't find one, so I just said the hell with it. But yeah, thank you very, very much. Sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but we got to shout out
No,
to
no.
donations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apologies, bud. My fault.
But that's it, man. Just Bill Murray. And
Yeah,
like,
we
and
love
like
Bill
everything
Murray
does.
at the Epic Film Guys podcast. Bill Murray is actually our featured actor this month on the Epic Film Guys. I put a clip from Where the Buffalo Roam when he played Hunter S. Thompson as our featured actor clip on last week's episode. And you're exactly right, Dave. I agree 100%. He's so multi-talented, and he could really transfer into dramatic roles as well. But he's just so funny. Literally everything he does is so funny. Even if you think about a film that I really loved that he did recently was St. Vincent. I think he's absolutely hilarious in that. It's just kind of this old, just cranky old guy. But then you kind of figure out his backstory, figure out what's going on with him, why he is the way. Oh man, it's such a good movie if nobody's ever seen it.
I've seen it. I like him. I'm not so crazy about anything else in that film, but I still love him.
Yeah, he gives a great performance. Even if you're not a fan of the film, he does give a great performance in it.
Well, let's face it. Has he ever given a bad performance in anyone's opinion? I don't think that I could ever say that I've seen him in anything where I said he was horrible in this or he was bad. He's always been at least good to decent in everything he's done, if not amazing.
Osmosis Jones.
Okay.
That was great.
I was hoping for someone to say Space Jam, but okay.
Or
No,
you
fuck
can-
that.
No,
Great in Space Jam.
he was the
Great
best
Space
part
Jam.
of Space Jam.
He saved everyone's ass. If it wasn't for Bill Murray, this universe would be overrun by fucking tiny little aliens run by Danny DeVito.
Oh
The
my
Monstars.
God. All right. Well, Paul from the Countdown, why don't we go ahead over to you and comedic scenes in film, man?
Look, there's some great ones in the chat going on here that Gaz from Open All Powers says anything with Leslie Nielsen. And there's a bunch of people mentioned Dumb and Dumber.
Mel
and
Brooks,
Mel
Robin
films.
Williams.
Young Frankenstein. Woo.
Great stuff
So
in
there
there.
are all some quality stuff there. But the one which leapt out at me, and I haven't watched it in a long time, is a Farrelly Brothers film. There's something about Mary, and pretty much any scene that has Matt Dillon in it playing Pat Healy. He is so funny in that film, and his attempts to woo Mary by pretending to be this guy who works with disabled people, and I'm going to be un-PC here and use the language he uses when he's going on about, man, those retards, I really get them. Like, there's this one guy, Mongo, and they let him out of his cage, and I made him come out of the cage, and I put him on a leash so he could run around the park, and he's just saying it so like he thinks he's really hitting all the marks with her, and she's getting more and more horrified, and then it's compounded when he plays football with them on the beach later on, and he's just running through them all like.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Kids
Not a
got
while
on
before
like
hair
a
gel.
drive-in movie theater screen.
Mongo.
Yeah, everyone thinks about the hair gel scene, and that's great too, don't get me wrong, or the Frank and Bean scene, which is absolutely hilarious. But Pat Healy, when he is trying to connect with Mary, for me, is just like tears rolling down my face.
Oh my god, yeah, that's God, I have not seen that movie in forever. God,
Yeah,
that was when
I've
Cameron
not gone
Diaz
back
was
to
actually enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, come on, right? I mean, seriously, come on now. The hair gel scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was astounding, and she had great comedic timing. She's great on multiple levels.
Yeah,
You forgot was great on multiple comedic levels.
I guess we got to go over to Justin now. What do you got for us?
What do I get? Well, a guy that doesn't get brought up nearly as much anymore because he's been dead for a long time, Mr. John Belushi. When I think of comedic timing and ultra funny, I think of him. And one of my favorite films of all time is National Lampoon's Animal House. One scene in particular is the zit sequence where he sits down at the table with all the yuppies, and he's got this huge... Exactly. There you go, Nick. He's got this huge tray full of all this food, and the scene opens with him just walking down the fucking line with all the food, and he's just pouring shit. He's looking at it and pouring random shit on his tray, and I believe he even takes some Jell-O, eats it, and then puts the rest of it back. But then he sits down with them, and it's the whole, I'm a zit, get it? And then he blows the mashed potatoes all over them, and then a huge food fight erupts in this college cafeteria. And I don't know, it's just the way him in that movie in general. Like, even for example, there's a scene in the movie where he chugs down a whole bottle of JD, and then he smashes the fucking bottle over his head, and it's like, that's all I need to laugh out loud is just him doing that. So that immediately comes to mind as one of the funniest moments in film for sure.
Thanks, I needed that. I love the scene on the stairs where the douche is playing the guitar.
Oh yeah,
He just grabs it and smashes it, gives it back to him. Sorry. That part, like the comedic timing of him, is absolutely brilliant, and throughout that entire film, I absolutely love him in that.
Sorry, guys, I was just sorting out my my windows here over in OBS. Apparently, Emily's going to send me a gift to play on the stream, so I'm looking forward to that. It took her a while to figure out why the Weatherman boner gif was funny. It's one of our favorite movie Pod Squad Network gifs. Speaking of funny stuff, though, somebody else had already mentioned some Mel Brooks stuff earlier in the chat here on the stream, and I've got to go straight to one of my favorite comedic characters of all time, and that's
here it comes.
Dark Helmet, baby. I mean, literally, the immortal Rick Moranis. I mean, he is just a comedic god. I mean, of course, in Ghostbusters as well, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He's so good at selling the character. And I mean, think of probably my favorite scene in that movie is the ludicrous speed. The ludicrous speed scene. Where he's like, no, light speed's too slow. We have to go straight to ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed.
And then when they're going really fast, and his
ludicrous
legs,
speed.
Never showed this
No!
scene again.
His legs get picked up and he's being dragged behind it, and then he's like, "We can't stop." Or Colonel Sanders is like, "We can't stop. We have to slow down first." Bullshit! Stop this thing. And then he goes flying forward into the control panel, and he gets up and his helmet's all smashed. And then he's kind of like Louis Tully, Rick Moranis. He's like, "Anybody got his smoke?" Let's take a 5-minute break. Smoke if you got him, and then he passes out.
No, wait,
Oh
we've already
my
seen
God.
this. Go past this part. Go further. We missed it. Missed it. When will then be now? We missed it.
That's one of my
already.
favorite. I love that scene so much. I actually put that in the actual intro. And thank you very much, Brentley, for your donation. 24% of the way to our goal. And we're only just a little over an hour into the live stream. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very,
Now,
very
Rick-
much, everybody, for your generosity. We love you. Love you.
Thank you.
Rick Moranis actually did a lot of ad-lib in that movie too. That entire scene with his action figures is completely ad-lib. They added it at the last minute to the filming schedule, and there was nothing written for it. And he just sat there and ad-libbed that entire scene. And
No, sir. I didn't
so-
see you playing with your
See you
dolls,
playing with
sir.
your dolls.
I didn't see you play with your dolls. Oh,
That's one of those ones I love
another-
so much. Like I said, I put it in the actual introduction for the Epic Film Guys podcast. I put that no, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Yeah. No, one of the actual other credits to Rick Moranis in that film that adds to the hilarity is the fact that if it wasn't for Rick Moranis, John Candy would not have been Barf.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's impossible to imagine that movie without John Candy in it as well. Because
And what's funny, another anecdote which is funny, is that John Candy was originally supposed to be Louis Tully in Ghostbusters.
That's true.
And he never ended up doing it. He wanted to do some strange thing with some French poodles, and it just didn't go well with what the director and the cast and team really wanted to do with the film. So he was out. And then Moranis was in. So those guys were good friends, though. Andy, God rest his soul.
Yeah. Oh, hell. Loy sauce. God damn it. What? Break the monotony. Oh, it's fucking hot wire.
I just figured that would get everybody loosened up if we just keep slamming the Loy sauce button.
Loose.
Oh
Slam
my
some Loy
God.
sauce.
So we've gone around the horn once here, and I think I want to jump back over to John. You had the great one from Anchorman as your first example. Anything else that really, when you think of comedy and film, it really is like, boom, this is
right.
my jam.
All right. So I had another moment lined up, but I guess I don't know if I can hit it, I'll hit it because, that's my jam to hit some old ass shit that probably nobody ever remembers. But I'm going to go for one that people probably fucking remember. And I guarantee they do because I've seen it in the chat. I'm going to go with Blazing Saddles. A lot of the scenes from that are fucking hilarious. Like when the sheriff is actually coming into town and, you have old boys standing up there just, and then bing bong, and, you got that. And he just comes in and they're all freaking out. And he's like, excuse me while I whip this out.
Somebody's going to have to go back and get a whole shitload of dimes.
Yeah.
I love Slim Pickens in that movie.
Oh, dude, Slim Pickens is fucking. What the fuck are y'all doing? What are y'all doing around here? Well, get back to work. Man, get that car out of that. Get that car out of that there. We all has a terrible day. We almost lost a hand cart. Dude, come on now. I fucking love that. And every time he's talking to dude, Headley. Every time he's talking to Headley is fucking hilarious. And I mean, of course, the epic line out of that where just Mondo is sitting there. It's just Mondo is only pawn in game of life.
And that's actually Jared Taylor actually mentioned that line up in the chat a little bit earlier.
Yeah. And then, of course, Gene Wilder is fucking fantastic through the
he's
entire
great.
thing. Just, you want something to eat? No, makes me sick. And it just downs a fucking bottle of fucking whiskey. So, I mean, everything is fantastic in that movie. I mean, Mel Brooks is just a comedic fucking genius when it comes to these movies. And
He is, yeah, absolutely.
that has honestly been one of my favorites since the first time I've seen it. And I've heard I think in a interview I heard with Lloyd Kaufman earlier, he said it, and I know I've said it, that you couldn't remake that movie today.
No,
You
There's
not
no
have like
way.
try to make that movie today because
impossible.
everybody would be pissed.
The butthurt would be so strong.
Oh, so strong, in which it kills me. I hate stuff like that.
I mean, even Mel Brooks has said that he kind of regrets a lot of the Jewish jokes that he puts in Spaceballs, but then he just remembers that that's who he was at the time, and that's what was funny to him, and that's what he decided to put on film.
Thank you very much, Greg Ship, for your donation. Thank you very, very, very much. We are just about 25% of the way there, gentlemen. That is absolutely
baby.
amazing.
Oh,
Just remember, the Cancer Research Institute, once again, is going to be doubling every donation in the month of May. So it's so awesome to see all these donations rolling in. Everybody's been so generous. Thank you very much. We definitely appreciate it. Emily loves cats for a $3 donation. Oh, she sent me the link to it, so now I gotta go grab the link and put it in here. Did you wait a minute? How did she send me that? Oh, I gotta find that. Wait, where is that? Let's see. Yeah. All right, Dave, we'll jump over to you now.
Yeah, I want to stick with the John Candy, man. One of my favorite comedic, movies is The Great Outdoors, which is like one of my favorite John Hughes films. It is absolutely funny, and it's none of it is really that physical. I mean, the whole boat scene is physically funny, but it's just in the rhetoric, just the things that are said in the script. My favorite scene is when they are checking in to the hotel and they pull in and the doors can't open because they parked between these 4 trees, and then they go inside and they're talking to this local yokel who runs the entire place, and he's talking about the dog, and the dog loves porcupines, hates people. She's in heat too. Like, all the lines in that film just crack me up. And then Dan Aykroyd shows up, and everything gets blown to hell. And the whole back and forth between Chester and Roman in the film is hilarious. I love their dick measuring contest they have throughout that entire film. That whole film absolutely cracks me up.
I just want to point everybody in the direction of the live stream for a moment. This is the gift that Emily just made a $3 donation for me to put up on the live stream. Oh my God. Oh, I absolutely love it.
it's fucking ridiculous.
So she said it. She's like, the longer I watch it, the more I laugh. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like, the more I watch it. Oh my God. Anybody else want to touch on anything that Dave said there?
I love that movie. I watched that movie religiously at least once a year growing up when I was a kid. It was a movie my dad loved. He loved John Candy. It was one of his favorite comedians. So we would rent it. We never bought it, strangely, but like almost every year my dad would go to Video King. I'm sure you remember that, Nick, Video King in Binghamton. And we would rent The Great Outdoors, and we would watch it every year. And for me, what that movie symbolizes outside of just family memories and summertime and camping, and it represents summer to me. So whenever I want to get in the mood for summer, there's a number of films that I watch, and that's definitely one of them. And I laugh every single time. So I absolutely love that movie.
Everybody's just staring at the cat on the live stream.
I can't keep looking. This is hypnotizing, man. I can't look at it anymore.
Quit
I blocked it off.
it, man.
I'm not looking at this.
I just keep looking at it. I can't stop.
All right, we'll go back over to you, Paul. Anything else, comedic moments that really, really light you up?
Look, those who listen to our show or have heard me talk on yours, Nick, will know that I'm a bit of a horror fan, and the Evil Dead series culminates in Army of Darkness, which isn't a great horror film, but I think is a really funny film, primarily because of Ash and Ash alone. And some of his quotes in that film still get said in my friendship circle today. So things like, that was just pillow talk, baby.
Huge thank you to, I'm going to guess that's Caleb from Netflix and Swill for your donation. Thank you very, very much. I absolutely love you. Sorry, Paul.
That's all right. No, that's what it's all about. This is my boomstick, and just the arrogance that he has developed by this point in the film series tickles my fancy all the way through the end of the film where, I could have stayed back and been king, but in my own way, I am king. And then he bends the girl over. He's like, hail to the king, baby. And she kisses him back. Ridiculous. Dave knows what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, it's one of
It's too
it
sexy.
made my top 5 franchises. Like, and you wouldn't even think that that's like a franchise that should even be in that list. But absolutely,
Yes,
Evil Dead,
should.
Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness are all absolutely hilarious. My favorite scene in that is when he is going to retrieve the book and he has to say the magic words.
That's a little weird, Lieutenant. Yeah, and then he messes it
Oh,
up.
that's fucking great.
It's unfortunately, I mentioned this because Justin on So I Married a Movie Geek, they just did Evil Dead 2 on their podcast, and I mentioned that I hadn't seen any of those films yet. It's just one of those franchises I've still got to get into, unfortunately. But then I've been being warned off
man,
of
you gotta
watching
get
movies
into it.
now.
It's so good.
People try to
So
warn me
good.
off of watching the movies they love now. Like Shampoo's like, no, don't watch it because then you won't like it and we won't be friends anymore. Or no, that was about Blade Runner, I think.
But if you dislike Evil Dead 2, I mean there's a strong possibility that you might get
I
kicked out of the
think you'll
movie Pod Squad Network.
It's possible. It's possible. If
Dave's,
you don't like
Dave's
that
close
too,
enough to me where
extraordinary
he'll just
vote.
drive up here and beat my ass, probably.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I want you guys to
Close
realize
enough.
something. I've been trying to get Nick to watch there's like a list of 25 movies I've told him about 30 times since I've known him. For how long has it been, Nick? Like 8-9 years? I don't even know how long it's been. And you still haven't watched like 95% of them. So I've been trying to get him to watch movies. He just doesn't do it. He doesn't listen.
I think in one of our beer exchanges, I should just start sneaking some of these DVDs and
Throw 'em in, man. Throw 'em in.
Just throw them in, and it's just be like, you can't even drink the beer unless you're watching this, and then he'll have to.
There you go.
I would totally do it. I would,
I like
but then
it.
again, Justin
I like
sent me what is it? I think it was the original John Wick. Justin gave me the ultraviolet code for, and I still haven't watched it.
What? Get off your ass, Nick. Watch
I've got
that
so
damn
many
movie.
ultraviolet codes, man, that I just have sitting around because I'll never use them. I can give to you, and you won't use them. So they're just sitting there
Come on, man.
wasted.
It's
I
one
get
of the
worried.
best Keanu Reeves movie.
Because have we
Keanu
hyped this?
movie. Come on
Have
now.
we hyped this stuff like too much for him? Like, is he going to watch it and be like, what's everyone talking about? Because we saw this when we were young. You know, we saw all these type of films when we were younger. So it hit us at the right time. And
Well, yeah.
It's also
Trained with
called the
it.
Goonies
Trained
effect.
to love it.
Well, I was going to say there is a nostalgia factor attached with these movies where, I mean, it's kind of like the Goonies and like Big Trouble in Little China, where maybe it's a timeline thing where like you kind of had to see them when you were younger to like
Absolutely.
really appreciate them.
Thank you very much, Chris Reiser, for your donation. Thank you very much for joining us as well today. Love to have you here, man.
But I don't know. I mean, it just seems like at any time in your life you should be able to enjoy this. But once again, this comes from somebody that watched it when I was young.
Yeah.
This is also me we're talking about here, so you never
That's
know.
true.
That is true.
You
You
never
do
know what
hate
you're gonna
everything
get.
we love, Nick. You hate everything we
You
love.
just never know what's going to happen when I cue something up and watch it. And sometimes it's like even recent movies where Justin will be like, "Oh man, it's so good, you have to see it." But then I think he kind of waits with bated breath to be like, "Nick's going to fucking hate it. I know it. He's going to shit all over it."
Nick, our little network wild card.
Wild card, bitches.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
He's special. You're special, Nick. That's why I love you.
You are the Charlie Day.
All right, but Justin, yeah, we'll kick it back over to you. Actually, more comedic moments in film.
Okay, another comedic moment that I actually hadn't watched in years, and this movie just celebrated an anniversary like a couple weeks ago. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. I know this is not a movie that gets a lot of love in this day and age, but for some reason, I used to watch this movie all the time when I was younger, and I was like, well, I'm going to show it to my daughter. She's 13. She'll get some of the humor now. And the one scene that always gets me, and I was on the floor 3 weeks ago, literally in tears laughing, is the penis enlarger scene
Oh
where
my
he's
God.
they're pulling out the box of all of his stuff, and they got the penis enlarger. He denies it. They have the manual written by Austin Powers for the penis enlarger. And just the thought of this giant penis enlarger. And my wife and my daughter are sitting there, and I'm like dying in tears on the floor, literally laughing. They're just both straight faced, and I'm like, I get it that you don't get it, but it's so hilarious. So for me, that's one scene that just came to mind, especially recently, because I'm like, I forgot how fucking funny that movie is. A lot of the humor is just so perfect. It's a lot of it is of its time, but it still works so well today.
Oh yeah. I mean, it works
Oh.
well. I don't. That even though that was only 20 years ago, I don't think you could even make that film today. I
No,
don't think,
definitely
that
not.
would
No,
ever
you probably
get
no.
greenlit. And that was only 20 years ago. I haven't seen a comedy probably in like the past 10 years or so that's really like gut busted me. That's really made me like crack up.
Nope.
I have trouble even like thinking of one.
And that's why, for me, and we don't touch on comedy a lot on the Epic Film Guys podcast. Nick still loves a lot of modern comedy. That's his thing. But for me, I don't get impressed anymore. I'll go into these movies or people are calling them gutbusters. They're hilarious. And I'll watch them. With exceptions like Deadpool, which isn't even a comedy first. I mean, it is comedy oriented, but there's no movies anymore where I go in and I'm on the floor, literally in tears laughing. The Nice Guys was a good example last year of a great comedy that I had fun with and I laughed quite a bit, but it's still not one of those movies that I'd look up and consider, a super ultra funny movie. They just don't get made the way they used to anymore. A lot of it is just dried up. A lot of it is just formulaic and it's the same stuff over and over again.
Well, it's because the butt hurt is strong and we can't tell jokes like we used to because, we might fucking offend somebody. Somebody's butthole might clench up real hard if you told a fucking Jew joke around here or like told a fucking like joke about black people or gays or anybody. I mean, oh, hell, man, fuck white people. Fuck them damn white people, man.
Why you got to become a dentist? You got to become a dentist for the jokes.
I'm telling you. I mean, you can't tell a joke around here unless, you're fucking... I'm not getting into that, but I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Comedy has just died so much over the last 10 years, in my opinion. There's been some stuff that's been like, ha ha, yeah, that's funny, but nothing like it's really just made me fucking die crying like it used to. Like just going back to like the Austin Powers movie, man, like the steamroller scene fucking makes me die laughing. Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
It's great.
It's so goddamn ridiculous. Him and old boy from the Mad TV show. I can't remember his damn name, but I remember that. Like, look at me, or look what I can do. That's what it was. Look what I can do. It fucking kills me. Everything in that, it just even the pinky up to his fucking mouth. There's plenty of jokes in there that you can tell that you just can't tell nowadays because somebody's going to get hurt about it.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad state of affairs in terms of really how that kind of stuff has happened, where everything has to be so politically correct nowadays. Where it's like we were saying earlier with Blazing Saddles, like a film like Blazing Saddles, as amazing as it is, it's so funny and I love it so much, but holy shit. I mean, you've got people that are absolutely freaking out over the stupidest little things nowadays and that joke, that film is so like over the top offensive. Like it really intends to try to be, but for comedic effect, like people would just straight up be losing their shit. Like,
right, but can I play devil's advocate real quick? I mean, this stuff is made for pop culture. It's made in a time that reflects its time. So the stuff we're getting now is stuff that reflects our time.
Yep.
I mean, it does. It does.
So does that mean that our time is boring, though? I mean,
yeah.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It means our time kind of sucks a little bit, But
yeah,
we're all old enough to have lived in a time that was pretty fucking awesome. So
that is very, very true.
Very true. Very true.
I'm gonna change gears here for my next selection. Even though this film was not released to be like a straight up comedy, as Justin said, but every time I watch it, literally from beginning to end, I pretty much cry laughing.
The Iceman coming.
Yes.
I'll kill you next time. I hate when
It's time to freeze.
I mean, I just heard that Arnold is in the next Terminator film. So
yeah, I just saw that news posted.
He continues to be comedic.
But here's the thing, though. I'm not even going to humor that article and post it to our page for the simple fact is nothing is even started. No production is started. There's no pre-production. So he says that about every single thing. I mean, I believe what he had to say about Predator. He's not going to be in that. I highly doubt that. That's fine. But dude, seriously. He needs to leave and not have anything to do with it ever again.
Really
and
does.
I love him. I love him too. But just let
really
it alone.
He needs to just go home, sit down, enjoy his money.
But I don't think Genesis was hurt by having Arnold in it. I think Genesis
no, definitely not. He was one of the best parts about it, I think.
Yeah, it was hurt from its story.
Yeah, the script of Genesis was utterly atrocious.
Terrible.
Yeah,
It was pretty much hurt from being made.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that had very little to do with the fact that Schwarzenegger was actually in the film. It's just unfortunately one of those things where, I mean, at the same time, like, you've got to get everybody creatively on board to be able to really make a great top to bottom picture. And unfortunately, that was one of those things where, yeah, they kind of had the idea they wanted to do the Star Trek 2009 style reboot to it. And it just, they just didn't have the right writers in place or the right director in place. Who they had? Wasn't it the guy that did Thor: The Dark World?
Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, good
hack.
lord.
Yeah.
Alan Taylor, I think that guy's name. Yeah, it's just
Alan
like
Taylor. Yep.
oh my god, like you have to have everybody on board creatively. Kind of like, and I mean, some people's opinions may vary on Star Trek 2009. I personally think it's fantastic because they managed to skate that line between honoring the old but really forging their own path ahead to where they could do their own thing in the future. I think it did that great, but that's what Genesis just, they couldn't gel that whole thing together. And then don't even get me started on the whole, we completely dropped the ball and the trailer completely reveals our villain is John Connor as a Terminator. Yeah. It's like
that ruined the entire thing, man. I can't believe. I remember how angry we were at that. Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's when you're in the theater and you're watching the film. It's like, yep, okay. Oh, this is the scene where he fights him now. Oh, yep. We've lamented many times on our show, and I know you guys as well. All have lamented the fact that it's just trailers are terrible nowadays because they give away so much. It's like the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer that we are going to play later on in the stream here. It literally is the entire plot of the film. It looks like.
Spider-Man Homecoming, I'm almost 100% sure the final scene, like the final fight of the film is in the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100% sure of that. My wife goes to the theaters now, and when we've gone 2 weeks in a row now, and when that trailer plays, I told her how much it gives away, and she plugs her ears and shuts her eyes and just sits there in a ball until that trailer ends, because she doesn't want to be spoiled. She wants to do her best to enjoy the film and not know what's coming. And this trailer just completely gave it away. And so many trailers do that.
That's why I tend to skip trailers. Thank you very much, Caleb, for your gift donation. He wanted his kazoo gift played. But yeah, it's that's why typically when it comes to movie trailers now, I'll watch the teaser and I'll watch the first trailer, because the first trailer is usually not a story trailer. But then any trailers they release after that, I never watch them. Never, ever watch them. And it's so frustrating to see how many times they spoil movies when they play them in trailers. I absolutely hate that. Drives me absolutely nuts.
You know what's a great example of a good trailer, Nick? And say what you will about the film itself, but I feel like the trailers for The Force Awakens were fantastic because they gave you a sense of an idea of where the movie was going to go, but it didn't spoil, I don't think, anything about the actual story in the film.
Nothing whatsoever. Yes. I knew nothing about that story going in.
And that's what I loved. And I stayed completely away from every single spoiler for that film on purpose. And when I saw it, I really enjoyed it more than I would have if I had seen every single trailer, every single TV spot, and it actually did spoil it. So that's like, seriously, other studios should take a cue in that sense that we want to see the movie when we go to see the movie in theaters. We don't need the whole thing spoiled for us in the trailer.
Exactly. I mean, I think even like Guardians of the Galaxy, which I know you guys have your feelings on. I listened to the episode and everything, but there was nothing really about that story in any of its trailers. I mean, like Disney is really cutting together their trailers pretty well to not give away everything. But to the same extent, DCEU, we've seen a lot of the Wonder Woman film, but we haven't really seen anything past what goes on in Themyscira and probably the first, quarter of the film. Like there's nothing in those trailers yet. Even the final trailer just came out that really gives away the main point of the story. So we still get to kind of go into that one fresh as well.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. It's funny. It's funny because Dave's on here, and when I listened to your review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that you did with Justin from Sorry Married a Movie Geek, great network friend of all of ours, it's amazing that we kind of all had the same issues with the film. It's just that other parts of it just worked that much better, and the overall tone and feel of it worked that much better for you guys than it did for us. It's still they're almost the same reviews, but then the things that you guys loved about it, they're the things that me especially, not so much Justin, but we're just like,
because I still have joy in my heart.
Yeah, but I still had a ton of fun with it, and I stated that in that review.
A very big thank you to Paul for your donation from the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews. Thank you very, very much, sir.
My wife was in tears watching Baby Groot dance. I mean, come on, that part was, my wife was dying watching that entire sequence.
Let's see. We got about 5 minutes left, maybe 6 or 7 minutes left here in our best comedic moments. Now, for movie soundtrack trivia, which we've got coming up next, we actually only have 2 players right now, and we need 2 more. So if anybody wants to stick around, or if anybody is listening right now, or is watching us on the live stream, and you want to take part in movie soundtrack trivia, you have to be on the air for it. I want everybody on the air that's going to be playing in it, because you're going to hear the sounds over Discord when I play them. But let us know, and I'll be happy to get you in here, and we'll get that started at about 1:45. We got Chris from More Gooder Than and Fuzzy D from Who Spiked the Puns, two also amazing Movie Pod Squad Network shows that you definitely have to check out. But John, since we started with you, I'll swing it back over to you really quick here as we end. Anything else comedic moments wise that you wanted to mention in terms of best comedic moments in film?
Well, since I have just a few minutes, I'm actually going to mention the one that I kept putting off just because it's old and obscure. There's a film from 1955. It stars Danny Kaye. It's called The Court Jester. It's kind of a musical film, and it also has Angela Lansbury in it. And basically, it's offshoot kind of story about Robin Hood, essentially. But he's one of the merry men, and he goes on. He becomes the hero. But there's a scene where like he's kind of like put under a hypnotism spell, and he goes to Angela Lansbury. He's been told that he has to like fall in love with her and that he's super brave and everything, because he's actually really weak and scared. And all you have to do is snap. Well, there's an argument between her and her father, and he's hiding in a closet, and literally they just keep snapping. And he keeps coming in and out of this hypnotism and coming in and out of this cloth. And it's hilarious to me, because like by the end of it, they snap one more time as he walks out, and he comes out and he's like, I'm going to bust his fucking head open. Because that's the way it keeps happening. Like as he comes out, he's like, I'm going to fucking kill him. And then as soon as like they snap again, he's like, oh my God. So it happens like 5 or 6 times in a row as it keeps going, and it makes me die laughing every time I watch it. And it's a really old film, so I'm not surprised if anybody hasn't actually seen it. But it's really classic. I mean, Angela Lansbury is like really young. If you know who that is, I mean, you should. But she's probably in her 20s, and it's fucking hilarious to me. There's a bunch of great moments in that between fight scenes and everything. But I just wanted to mention it because it's kind of my thing. It's my deal. I mention shit that nobody remembers.
Oh my God! Isn't it just not only it sounded hilarious, but doesn't it just sound more hilarious with John describing it? I just love listening to John talk. I don't know why.
Yeah, I
just
would
absolutely
watch
do.
that scene and be like, yeah, I guess it was funny. But hearing John describe it, that's gold.
As I ramble on.
I guess one last one that I can really think of, just one that I know no one else is really going to talk about, but it's not really a comedy, is the whole inception of the Ku Klux Klan in Django Unchained. That part is absolutely hilarious in that film.
That's actually really funny. My wife spent hours cutting holes in these sheets.
Exactly. Their only argument is how the sheets should look, and that entire argument just absolutely cracks me up. So yeah, I think I'm okay going out with that one.
Oh my God, we're going to get Chris St. Arnold in for the movie soundtrack trivia, so thank you very, very much. I do want to thank everybody that took their time to join us here for the live stream for The Cure on the air. Again, Dave from the Super Movie Brothers podcast, John from Now in Technicolor, and Paul from The Countdown, who's going to be going to bed. It's about 1:42 a.m. for him there.
That is correct.
Out in Perth, but he's going to go to
hard.
sleep, and he's going to get back up, and he's going to be back with us later tonight, where we're going to be talking about the top 10 Askewniverse characters of Askewniverse. That's Kevin Smith's Connected Universe, and I can't wait. So we're absolutely thrilled to have you
That's
here,
awesome.
Paul, but we're excited to have you coming back. And Dave and John, if you guys are hanging out for the rest of the day, we hope to see you over in the YouTube chat, or if you want to jump back on the air, we'll be happy to have you.
100% will, man.
All right.
Yeah.
And in
Well,
the
I know
meantime,
I'm back later anyway.
I'm trying to get... Yeah, you're back later anyway. Oh, that's right. You're back on for...
I'm back on at the 10 o'clock
Spotlight.
segment.
Spotlight.
Yeah,
That's right.
Spotlight.
For Sideways with JD from the In Session Film Podcast. Sideways and the Untouchables, which I just watched for the first time last night. So that's absolutely awesome. And I'm waiting for
Heck yeah.
Chris St. Arnold because I got to send him the link to this thing. Chris, how did you contact me? Was it Facebook or Twitter? Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because.
Where did
Do you
this
know what the
cat-
most annoying sound in the world is?
I love Dumb and Dumber so much. That's actually, if we would have gotten background to me again,
I
that
was
would have
gonna
been my
get to
third
it.
one.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, I was
Dumb
gonna
and
get
Dumber
into
so
that.
much. Oh, that was actually the last movie that myself and Justin watched together before he moved. We gave it like the drunkest review of all.
No, the sequel. Yeah, the sequel.
The sequel, yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2.
Not enough time to get around to everything because I would have definitely gotten to Shaun of the Dead and
Me too.
absolutely
I got some
hilarious.
Chevy Chase movies on my list, of
Oh
course.
yeah,
Oh,
Well,
Chris,
just because
Chris
of
probably
the-
messaged
just
you,
because of that
Justin.
one discussion earlier, I was going to mention PCU from 1994.
Can you check your
Just
Facebook
because
messages,
of
Justin?
that.
I think Chris messaged you on Facebook.
No, he didn't.
Oh, what the hell? Where did he send it to?
No idea.
God damn it. Yeah. Okay. Do 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 do. All right, we're gonna get movie soundtrack trivia started here in just a moment. Hang on, I'm just gonna find
All
it.
right.
Hang on.
All the best, boys. Catch you later.
Yeah,
Take it
thank
easy,
you
Paul.
very, very much,
Take
Paul. We'll
care.
talk to you later. John, we'll talk to you later.
Welcome.
And Dave, we love you so much. You're amazing.
adios, guys.
Peace.